What's up, guys? Fast Steady here, and today we're going to analyze Reymundo Anguiano. This guy is a forgotten predator, but he says a lot in his interview with Chris that is just fucking beyond retarded. Some of the shit he says, it defies sensibility as to why you would say that kind of thing. But yeah, let's just jump into it and see why this guy, or try and figure out why he says and does what he does.
You know who I am. You're on the Dateline show.
You're on the Dateline show.
This is True Sweet Guy. True Sweet Guy.
So this was after enough people had been busted to where there was starting to be more awareness that this kind of thing was going on. Like the very first few stings, like this had never when this was a brand new show, like these guys had no idea what was going on. Like for David K, he had no idea what was going on. But then by the time they rolled around to, I think this is Georgia or whatever. By the time they got to Georgia, people fucking knew, and these guys were reluctant. Like that's why a lot of these guys, like specifically, and they wouldn't even call it To Catch a Predator. Like they'd call it Dateline and shit. It's kind of funny.
Like our latest investigation, the sixth one, this time in Harris County, Georgia.
Emily, open the door and call.
We've rigged this house with 12 hidden cameras, 5 inside
She's
and
got her
7
laundry
outside.
basket.
From a control room inside the house.
Oh, that's a fucking badass setup. Shit.
5 inside and 7 outside.
Which camera you want to lose?
From a control.
Damn. This guy's got a whole fucking like setup. So I mean, this is the fucking control room, like you said. You can just see everything.
Room inside the house. A crew operates the cameras and records a man's
that's
every move
badass.
from the moment he drives up to
Yeah,
the
so
house.
these cameras are following him.
Young
And look at that wig. That's so ridiculous that they have this. I think she's a natural redhead too, and they have her wear this dark ass fucking Walmart wig.
19-year-old to play the part of a young
Hey,
girl.
come on in.
A decoy who will invite the men in.
Hey!
This fucker.
This is 24-year-old Reymundo Anguiano. He's here to see a 14-year-old girl named Diane.
Oh wait, I'm
Online
gonna
just
pause it
hours
a sec.
ago in an AOL chat room.
She bolted out of there.
I made some sweet tea for you if you want a glass. It's super good.
Okay,
That's what we do down
hold
south.
on.
I'll be right back.
There we go. So, yeah, it's been a while since I think Mr. Gigi made a video, and I think he comments on the shirt that this guy's wearing. I don't know if the resolution is going to be, it's probably going to be fucked off in this. It always is. But the shirt that he's wearing is like a Stewie shirt from Family Guy, and it says like, "You're under my control" or some shit. It says something hilarious. Like the shirt he's wearing says something about being under control, and that's Stewie. That football shape is Stewie. But yeah, this guy's dressed. He's dressed pretty average. I mean, he's dressed like an average guy who's a geek, but not like, maybe not crazy geek, but more geeky. So he's dressed like a more geeky, average kind of guy. You know, he's got these fucking normal shorts, red t-shirt, graphic tee, normal hair. I mean, yeah, this guy does not stand out in any fucking way.
To give you an idea why he might be here, take a look at what he said online. Using the screen name True Sweet Guy 69, he asks
I think Chris just straight up says 69, and it's funny that he's the True Sweet Guy 69. It's like he has both aspects of like a romance kind of. He has like the commitment, you know, he's true and sweet, but at the same time he's trying to fucking 69 at the same time.
Decoy, an adult pretending to be 14 if she's good at giving oral sex. The decoy says, nobody ever complained. Didn't do it lots, but I know how to do it.
I look at the way, that's so funny the way that they say it. Nobody never complained, like an airplane. Nobody never complained. Didn't do it lots, but I know how to do it. God, these guys are idiots.
Then True Sweet Guy 69 asks if he shows the girl a picture of his penis, would she give him oral sex? The decoy, who...
Oh wait, let's see. If I show you a pic of my 1, 2, 3, he must have said dick. P. Oh, I wonder what he said there. Will you tell me? Will you tell me? Will you give me? This is just crazy. Suck job BJ or some shit. I wonder what he's talking about.
he thinks is 14 says, oh yeah. And sure enough, True Sweet Guy 69 sends her a picture of his genitals.
I can't see any. The resolution of this is just so bad. Like it's like the pixels have become pixelated. What was originally pixels throughout various uploads and edits of this shit has become just like a pixelated fucking nightmare.
How you doing?
Ooh, he's curious.
I should have a seat right over there.
What are you
He shook his hand. That's
doing
funny.
here?
Look at his weak shaking
How
his
you doing?
head.
I should have a
That's
seat right over there.
instinct. That's pure instinct. And I would probably do that too, if I encounter someone new. It's like if I'm in a situation to where I know I'm gonna be interacting with someone for a while, I'll just introduce myself. Like if it's if I was like, you know, working at a place for the first day, I would make it a point to like introduce myself to people. Just because I think that's probably a good habit too, as far as building relationships with people in general.
What are you doing
It's funny
here?
that he does it though.
Just we were talking online, and I just wanted to come and meet her.
And who?
He's so nervous. He has no idea what to say. Um, this fucker cannot think on his feet. I don't think he even has that much of a defense. I think he kind of just like rolls over and takes it. But yeah, I mean, just from the way that he's speaking, you could already tell that he's extremely nervous.
Who are you talking online with?
With that young lady there, sir?
Young
The young
lady,
lady.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, he wants the decoy to meet her at the car.
He was really talking online with a different decoy, a member of the online watchdog group Perverted Justice, which Dateline hired to do what they normally do, go into chat rooms and set
Troll.
up computer profiles pretending
Troll the fuck out of
to
predators.
be young teens who are interested in sex. And sometimes, as in the case of True Sweet Guy 69, the decoy says she is sexually experienced. And how old is that young lady?
She said she was 14, sir.
14.
And that's the third time he said sir, so this guy's just like showing respect. He's going out of his way to let Chris know that he's giving him respect.
And how old are you?
24, sir.
24.
He sighs before he says it.
And you thought that was appropriate. Why?
Some of these guys are so shameless too. They'll be like fucking, 50 something years old. Dan Allen, I watched him and he's talking about his age. Dan Allen's old as fuck. And then he's like, not that I'm that old. And this guy, like Reymundo's, he sighs before he says his age because, yeah, it's improper. Anything over 18 is improper for this age. So at least he has shame about it. Some of these old fuckers just don't care. They act like it's like no big deal.
Well, I don't know, sir. I mean, I just thought it was all right. I mean,
He's so
Then I-
frazzled. His eyes are darting around. Like, I mean, inside his mind, he must be experiencing this hell-like anxiety. His body temperature's probably increased. The back of his neck is hot as fuck. He's maybe starting to sweat. Everything about this experience is like fight or flight mode.
Ask him about the picture of his genitals he sent to the girl
Oh,
posing as a young
Chris
teen.
amps it up.
Now, when you were online, you
Lied.
sent this picture.
He slides it over.
yes, sir.
You did.
I'm not gonna deny that.
Now, you know that's against the law, right?
Yes, sir. You just get into these chat rooms and stuff, and you just chat away.
So is that a defense? So he's just saying that, okay, what started off as something that was harmless, what started off as I guess almost a fantasy, and maybe is where he's going, quickly escalated. Yeah, that's what happens, but that's not a defense. So I think he's explaining what happened, and he's not using that as a justification. So he's just saying, well, you get in these chat. He's speaking in general. He says, well, a person gets in a chat room, and they just start chatting away. It's like you start chatting, and shit escalates naturally, snowball effect. So yeah, that's not really a justification, which is good. It's just more of explaining what happened.
Send pictures like that very often?
No. Just if just only if I'm really serious about talking to somebody or something. But
If you're really serious.
no.
Well, Ray,
There's no way that he was serious with the minor. Like, you couldn't even have any kind of actual relationship. Like, you'd have to do everything in the shadows because it's fucking criminal.
what do you think would have happened if I wasn't here and a 14-year-old girl was...
And now he's fucking around with his chin, so he's scratching his face. Touching your face is a telltale sign of nervousness. Many people touch their face or their hair. That one especially for women. When women are touching or like playing with their hair, you can tell that they're nervous. But men, I think we do that with just our goatees and our facial hair probably. It's probably the same shit.
here?
And he's doing that right now.
Well, if whatever was gonna happen was gonna happen, if nothing was gonna happen, then hey.
That's such a stupid defense. Whatever was gonna happen was gonna happen. But if nothing was gonna happen, then hey, hey. Because that defense, by that logic, if something was gonna happen, then it was gonna happen. So he's not saying it wasn't going to happen. He's just saying it didn't, but everyone knows it didn't. We all know it didn't.
If she was willing to have sex with you, you would have had sex with her. Even
I
though
would still have second thoughts.
second thoughts.
Yes, sir.
What does that even mean? That's so incriminating to say, and it's one of the things that these guys say, thinking that they're doing something strategic, that they're making a wise move on their behalf, and it's just fucking retarded.
But yeah, I've seen the show about 3 times on TV already.
You've seen this show?
Yes, sir.
So you know
Yes,
exactly
sir.
what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
You heard right. This man's aware of our previous investigations.
You're on the Dateline show.
Exactly.
Yes, I know who you are.
I'm Chris Hansen.
Yeah, there we go, yeah.
Now, did you
He's all, there we go, yeah. Oh my god.
think at all that maybe you were walking into To Catch a Predator?
It was, and you know, that kind of crossed my mind
Yeah,
for a
kinda
minute.
crossed your mind.
For a minute.
Yeah. And then I just wiped it away, you know.
So you wiped it away. Do you think it was a good show?
No,
Oh my god.
that kind of crossed my mind
Yeah,
for a
To Catch a Predator?
This is I think the funniest shit about this guy. And this is what most people who probably don't even know this guy, what might crack them up is just this part right here. Where he says, I did for a minute.
It was, and you know, that kind of crossed my mind
Yeah,
for a
kinda
minute.
crossed your mind.
For a minute, you
Yeah.
know. And then I just
Like, what's up with predators and making that noise? He just did a jump here, weird kind of fucking. It's just funny that these guys do that. But at the same time, what Reymundo's saying, you know, to actually analyze it, it's like, yeah, he had suspicions that this was a setup. He knew about the show, so he knew Dateline. So Chris didn't even have to tell him. He did know about the show, and he was suspicious at first, but you know, he just cleared the thought away, and that's what happens. I think, unfortunately, or fortunately, you know, for it's like from a biological perspective, that's what's perpetuated the species. As dark as this is, I'm not condoning it. What he's doing is horrible. He should be punished for it. But it's like life is so shitty, and I mean, when I say shitty, I mean life is great, but I mean there's so much like physical discomfort and suffering, especially life in a state of nature, like early human beings living on the savannah. Like that would be such a fucking hardcore, like brutal existence. So it's like people just always want to have sex. That's what's perpetuated the species. It's like even though our existence has been so fucking difficult, our ancestors' existence was so difficult. Like it was worth it because like they could still go out and fuck, and it's like that was the thing, and somehow that alone, it managed to perpetuate life. You know, life, sexual reproduction. But yeah, so in this case, so that instinct, the instinct to procreate is a good instinct, but this guy's instinct is a extremely vile instinct. This guy's trying to do this with a minor is fucking horrible. But that's how it is. That's what I mean. It's like that. It's the mind has over time, many people, many men. It's like you think with your dick. You know, they've gotten into situations that they didn't want to because they were horny as fuck. It's like guys who are horny will do stupid shit because they're horny. And I think that's evolution. There's an evolutionary reason for that. Because it perpetuates the species. If these guys are horny, that means they fuck. If they fuck, then in theory, the species perpetuates, and it's like. So what this guy's doing is horrible, but what he's saying, there's truth to it. As far as you just kind of lose thought of shit when you are thinking about sexual shit.
wiped it away, you know.
So you wiped it away.
You wiped it
Was it a
away.
good show?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was supposed
No.
to stop people and things like that, you know.
Well, this is the part where usually I say, I'm Chris
It's
Hansen.
supposed
with
to
Dateline
stop
NBC.
you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you remember that part?
Yes, I remember.
So I wonder what, I mean, Chris must be annoyed too, because it's like, he hit the nail on the head. The show was supposed to stop people, but obviously it didn't. Obviously this guy knew, and he's like, hey, well, you know, I knew about the show. I guess what stops people is, I guess, the crime. Just being like publicly shamed wasn't enough. He must have knew his life was over, and he's really chill and he's calm for someone whose life is about to be over. I suspect that Reymundo doesn't have a lot to lose. If he had a lot to lose, I think that Reymundo would have been a lot more worried. Like he was nervous, but at this point it's like he's not like Walter Babst or Maurice Wallin nervous. Those guys had a lot to lose. He's just like he got caught doing something bad nervous.
You remember when these guys come out, the cameras come out.
Big ass bazooka cameras,
I say,
perfect.
If there's anything
Okay,
else
he
you'd like
puts
to
his hands, interesting, hands on top. So the quasi, this is the proto POW position. So he's not sitting down yet. He's not kneeling, but he's still got his. So it's like, if he knows about the show, he must know he's gonna get arrested. Maybe he's just doing that. He's like, guys, please don't tackle me. Like, just put the cuffs on me here.
tell us.
No, that's it.
We'd like to hear it. Otherwise, you're obviously free to walk out the door you came in.
And like the other men he's seen in our reports, True Sweet Guy 69 probably knows he's about to face yet another confrontation.
Get on the ground.
Yeah, he knows.
Now, on your face.
Immediately.
Perverted Justice has been sending all the sexually explicit online chat logs between its decoys and the potential predators to the Harris County Sheriff's Department.
Alright, so...
Oh, there's Dell.
In Georgia, it's a crime to attempt to solicit sex online with a...
Look at him. So, I mean, this guy's like a fucking, he's like a lobster right now. Like, they have tanks of, they'll have like a tank with a bunch of lobsters in them with, you know, the tape on their claws and shit. And when they pull him out, they kind of just like slowly move. And he's moving around like a lobster who's just been pulled out of a fucking tank.
Minor. And law enforcement
Like,
says
look at it, look at it.
It's a crime to attempt to solicit sex
He's
online
moving his
with a minor.
legs. It's like a
Law
lobster.
enforcement says showing up at this house makes a case even stronger. So True Sweet Guy 69 is arrested.
Yeah, that's attempt to
Put in an unmarked
attempt
car
to unlawful
and taken in
attempt
for
to minor.
questioning.
I just choose my right to remain silent.
Oh shit! Wow, that's very. Wow. I'm surprised. I did not expect him to do that. So he talks to Chris needlessly. He doesn't need to talk to Chris. He talks to Chris knowing full well that he's talking to all of America at the time. That he's talking to Dateline. Yet when he gets to the police department, he's like, I'm choosing to remain silent. Well, I want to see that.
And taken in for questioning.
I just choose my right to remain silent. Okay.
That's so smart. He's not smart, but that's such a smart move, and that's what these guys have to do. Of course, what he said to Chris was fairly damning evidence, so he has that against him. But to remain silent, you have to do that. There's nothing to be gained. The police will only build a case against you. So it's never wise to talk to police without your attorney.
After that, he's transported to the county jail.
And he's licking his lips.
Fingerprinted, photographed,
And yeah, so his shirt it says you are okay. So his shirt says you are under my control. He looks so funny right there. He almost looks like Donkey Kong. But no, his shirt says you are under my control, and that is funny. Yeah, just because of the paradox of that no one is under his control.
and locked up.
Yeah, that look. This is a much more appropriate. This look is much better for me. That's so old school. That's like some fucking some coal mining town shit. If you have to wear stripes like that, or maybe that's how they do it in certain. I guess certain counties mandate different clothes. But that's crazy. These prison stripes.
The next day, he goes before a judge, and his bail is set.
The criminal attempt child molestation is $15,000.
First time I've done this right here.
First time.
Yes, sir.
Did you?
First time I've done this right here. Yes. So that's also. Let's go back to the sentence though.
He goes before a judge, and his bail is set.
The criminal attempt child molestation is
Criminal attempt child molest. That's a serious charge. Probably a felony.
$15,000.
15,000. Bail is what? 10%? Is it? I think bail might be 10% of the total. That's what you need to be able to leave the jail under the promise that you'll be back on bail. But that's still a lot of money to come up with. If that was the case, that's still a lot. I doubt he'd be able to do that. The 1,500. So yeah, let's.
First time I've done this right here.
First time.
Yes, sir.
Did you bring condoms?
Yeah, I brought one, sir.
He brought one. He brought one gun. Okay. I guess reflecting on this guy, he doesn't do anything that makes him stand out on like a Jean-Pierre Worry level, but this guy's fucking he's hilarious because he's such an idiot. He says things that are ridiculous. But I guess truthful in sometimes. So he bumbles into some truisms about humanity and what it means to be a person. So yeah, that's Reymundo Anguiano. Until next time.